Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. This is the message that the Lord God has given unto me to give unto you. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. And that's found in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6. But we know the spirit of the Lord is prophecy. And so we say, I'm going to send Elijah for a great and dreadful day of the Lord. He should turn the hearts of children back to fathers, the hearts back to children. These are coming strike the earth for the curse. So who the fathers? Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah is caused of Lebanon, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Nasher, and Joseph, and Benjamin. Those are our fathers. Also our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, father Enoch, Noah, and Shem, then David, Daniel, Samuel. So we have a lot of fathers out there. But right now, with the testament of the 12 patriarchs, so those are the fathers that we're mostly interested in now, and they left us area exaltation of the last day, what was going to happen to us in the last time. We was going to go in captivity, what was going to happen to us while we was in captivity, what was going to become of us while we was in captivity, and how we was going to leave out this captivity. So right now, you're in the consummation. The gathering 144,000, and the righteous are being taken out of the earth. So there's a lot of things going on here. Oh, yes, a lot of things going on. Oh man, I was trying to find. I have dreams for you, but I was trying to find a dream where I saw this mountain and it was a spaceship. I know I told you that, and I couldn't. I said, man, that mountain looked familiar, and I couldn't remember. And then all of a sudden, I looked at this picture called, it said Epoch, EPOCH. It's on Roku right now. EPOCH, and the spaceship. Yeah, that mountain was a spaceship, man. I said that, and that's what it was. That's what it is, really. So I don't remember the dream exactly. I looked for it, but it's gonna take me time to find that dream. Yeah, it's gonna take me time. So I have some dreams for you. So this is the dream that I had last night. But the other two dreams I had for you, man, they are really, really important. But this is the dream that I had last night, that I can remember, this morning. So I was we was at a place where a regular place where you pay bills at. And so we had this man that was out, out there robbing people. That's what he was. He was out there robbing people. And let me see, I wrote it down. I said this man was a robber, had robbed a man, uh, had robbed a man, and might have done other things unto him. I woke up along with a friend. I have two bills. I have two envelopes in my pocket. And he talking about robbing me. I gave him the two envelopes, the water bill and the energy bill. But I think they didn't have any. I didn't think they have anything in them. So he takes talk his bad talk, look at them and sees the money, and now he happy. My friend, I see that the money's in the envelopes. The man has a piece of glass in his hand. My friend grabbed his hand that has the money in the envelope in it, and I takes the hand with the glass in it and slowly push it in his neck and see the blood just about to start pouring out, and I wake up. So in a dream, it's just like you go to here we have energy, man. You go in the building, and as the building has some glasses lined up the windows where you pass. So, but this I think it was, I don't know, it was in the building or outside the building. Anyway, so one man come up, so he robs that man. So as he robs the man, next I come up, but I have the water bill and the energy bill, and man, well, I'm with a friend of mine, man, a very good friend of mine. Both of us are military men. Both of us military men. But anyway, so as we walked up there, so we talking and everything. So man out there, he talking about robbing, taking what I had. But I have the water bill in the envelope, and I have the energy bill in the envelope, and they in my pocket. And he looks at it and say, "Hey." Talk about taking them and robbing me for it. And I just give it to him. The reason why I gave it to him, because you know how dreams are, the reason why I gave it to him, because I usually I don't keep no money in no envelope and for to pay the bill. What? No, I don't give it that. So I just gave it to him like that. You know, thank you ain't getting up for some bills that haven't even been paid, no money, nothing. But when he opens up the envelope and sees the money, and I'm shocked too to see the money in there. But he opened up, man. Now he happy and thing. You know, he done made a score, and then the friend that I'm with, we just call him Mr. Jones. So Mr. Jones see him, boy. Mr. Jones see that money envelope, boy. He just snatched the man. I mean, he snatched the man by the hand with the envelope, and the man had a piece of glass in his hand. So as he snatched the man, bring the man over there, and have him bent down and take the money out of the envelope. Now the man had, before the man could take the piece of glass, you know how you break a window pane, that type of glass, and had a sharp eye. And before he could get and take about to stab my friend or cut my friend with, so I takes his hand and I takes his hand. And you know, any other time, you know, you're taking knock the glass out the man's hand and then cut him. No, I took that man's hand and I took slowly. And the man, he was struggling a little bit, and I just slowly took it. And I know I could take it out of his hand, but I slowly took it and took that and put that in that man's neck. Yeah, sure did. Then before the blood can get out, I woke up from that dream. So that's the dream that I had last night. Okay, now, because you know, I told you this thing that you're into is gonna get worse. It's gonna get so worse. Well, you see how worse it is now, but it's gonna get worse. So listen, I was looking for a small box of roses. I was looking for a small box of roses to get for a cashier who was always nice to me. I go look for this small box, but there aren't any. There I keep looking, open the other boxes, it not open the other boxes. Other box is not what I want. For the woman comes and never see a woman. So this woman comes, never see her face. She restocked the shelf, but only had one box that read normal. Normal. I open it and it is the box I'm looking for. So now I go back looking for the cashier. I don't see her. Two women are talking, but I don't see no cashier, and I wake up. So in this dream, I walks in a storehouse, but look like one of the storehouse where you sell five and dime store or something like a Hobby Lobby. Look like something like that. And so the woman that I goes to, I know her, so now I wants to get her something. She's always nice to me, so I'm looking for a small box of roses to give it to her. So I go to the shelf where they usually are, and they have they don't have the shelf is empty. They really have about um, maybe four little small boxes like match boxes. Man, four little box at the bottom of the shelf, and I just don't see it. And then next thing you know, they have this other woman. She come, I never see her face or anything. So she just come up there and place this little small box on the shelf. And when she placed on a small box on the shelf, and I look at the box, and the box had NORM written on it. And so as that, so I look in the box and it has the roses that I want. It just like yeah, it's like little small rose flowers. So I get the box, and then when I stand up and open up the box, the roses are quite long when I stand up and open up the box. So now I go look back to the woman to give it to her and to the cashier and pay for them, and all that's gone. Yeah, all that's gone. And so all they had these women down there, they talking and looked like they was doing something else, but it was no longer a store setting. It was some type of other setting. And I woke up from that dream. Okay, now I have another dream. Tell us about Andre. This in the dream. This in a vision that I had. Now you close your eyes and you have a vision, then you see things. And tell us about Andre. Yesterday he was acting. Yesterday he was acting. Yesterday was an acting day. Andre didn't show up. Everyone was standing standing to listen to her. So in this setting, the woman talked to another person. I didn't see who the woman was, didn't see the man she was talking to. But it's talking about this person, Andre, and he was supposed to show up for this acting thing that they was doing. I know, regular thing. And so as she started speaking and everything, she said, Andre didn't show up. Then everybody around stood up to listen to her. And then she said, yeah, that's said. Everybody said Andre didn't show up. Everybody stood up and was listening to what she was going to say next. So that's another dream that I woke up. Now this dream here, man. Told you, man, I had dreams. I was gonna tell this dream yesterday, and but I held to the day, and I seen this morning where they had started doing their foolishness. So I was hearing the sirens going off. They going off. They light at first. They were light at first. I say no one can hear that. And I see a couple sitting on a porch. A couple, well, I don't go back over there. I see a couple sitting on a porch. They do hear that. I keep doing whatever I was doing. Next you can hear the sirens getting loud. And I look up and there's modern flying machines, and yeah, two modern flying machines. They go straight up, and then they come out. But then I see this large. Then the wings come out. Then I see this large spaceship, and you could see it moving over the sky, blocks out everything. All you could see is this massive ship with the flashing lines look like arrows. Flashing lines look like arrows. They shows which way it is moving. Next, I see these people running everywhere, trying not to get caught. One man comes running from behind the house, trying to get away. I see the woman running, all trying to hide or get away. I look across the canal. I see two black figures with the device looking like surveyors instruments. They was looking at those who was running in the woods or the brushes. We where they found you. When they found you, they hit you and make you freeze in that area where they found you. I ran and hid in the tall grass, but I kept feeling a warm body under me. Next, this woman comes and hit me in the neck. And the woman under me gets up and asks me how she did that. And thinking she paralyzed me, I turned to ask her a question, but as they were walking away, I woke up. Oh, man, that's told you, man, that's the dreams I had over in the spirit world when during the covenant day. Yeah, during the covenant day, all those people, most of the majority of the people like Ezekiel and Jeremiah and stuff like that, when they tell you something, most of that happened on a covenant day, on a Sabbath day. They be in the spirit world. But anyway, so I'm at this house, but this is a house I grew up when I was a child. And so I'm at this house, and I'm cutting grass, and I'm doing stuff, and all I hear is the siren. No, this is the real siren, the air raid siren, or the siren when they have a storm or something coming. It was like that, but it was low. You can hear it. It was very, very low, like it was a far away. And so, and it stayed, it was there for so long, such a long period of time. And so I look over like onto another street, and when I look on another street, they have these elderly couple. They sitting on with their rocking chair on their porch and everything, and all I can see they're dark figures. That's what they say, but I know that what they were, and because that's how far away they were. And then after a while, I go back doing what I was doing. The next thing you know, boy, them LA sirens was loud. I mean, they were so loud. Yeah, man, they were so loud. Them LA sirens was real, real loud. Yeah, they was real loud. Then next thing you know, after I hear the air raid sirens, was real loud. And then I look up in the air, and when I look up in the air, I see these two, they look like, oh man, I'm trying to describe them best I can. They really look like large drones. That's what they look like, large drones. But look like when I see them, they going back up. In other words, the spaceship or the ship that they was on must have dropped them down. And then when you drop them down, you know how some drop down, catch, and then it pop back up. Was like that. But when they pop up, they had wings, and the wings, there was the wings, the machine was gray, and the wings was like a dark gray or black. And so they had two of them. So when it dropped down, the wings would pop out. The next thing I know, man, I see this, ooh, man, it's a blue master's machine. This thing, it was so huge, it blocked out the sky and everything. I mean, it still had light, but it just blocked out. That's how huge it was. And then when it flew over, you can see the little arrows like. Have you ever seen, I'll tell you a little bit. You ever seen, oh man, a point that you put in the window for to hold the glass up? They have a little point, and that's how it is. This, and it's shaped like a little small arrow. So that's how it is. But they had a bunch of them, and it was it was incorporated in the machine, and everything was blue, and those little arrows was just going in one direction, and the way the ship was going. And boy, next thing I know, I look down, boy, they had people running everywhere. So this man come from behind the house. Yeah, come from behind the house looking and trying to run from the people. So he runs one way. Then you see these women and things, they run another way. So when I look across like a canal, something like from Orleans Parish to Jefferson Parish, for wherever you are, from one county to the next, or from one parish to the next, it was just like that. But they had a divider, it's the canal. So when I look over there, everything is brush, everything is like a wooded area, and they have these two men, two figures standing up there, and they have a survey machine, like a survey stand, with the tripod and stuff, and they looking at everything that's moving and trying to hide over there, and they taking it down and looking at everything was moving and trying to hide over there. So next thing you know, I runs out behind the house where the man come from. Yeah, that's what I do. So I run from behind the house, trying to hide. Now I'm trying to hide. And so as I run from behind the house and I get from behind the house, then I see these tall grass, high, how you have weeds and grow up high and stuff. So I run and I hide from that. So as I'm running and hiding there, I feel something warm under me and it's moving. But it's warm. I can feel the warm, like a warm body. That's what I feel. The next thing you know, I say, man, I keep feeling this warm body. Next thing you know, it's a woman or somebody walks up behind me, hitting me on the neck, thinking that they paralyzed me, And so as she hit me on the neck, then the woman gets up from behind and said, come on. And the woman gets up from under me, and they two get together. Now, the woman that hit me in the neck looks at the other woman tells her, how did you do that? And then as they walking around, so I turned my head trying to ask her about what's going on, but then I woke up from that dream. Well, yeah, man, they got so much coming on. Another thing, see this paper right here? Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, say Lord. So up under that, the guy say, if you love the Lord thy God, stop marching. And the reason why that is because marching not gonna save. But just think about it. See, we out there with all that marching and foolishness. People coming, especially Israel, and people coming, which they doing anyway. Which they coming and do, they gonna do it anyway, but they'll lock you up more fast. But I told you, man, it's gonna get worse. They installed their riding and stuff. And just like in another video I told you about Hong Kong. Yeah, I told you, man, the Chinese couldn't handle Hong Kong, and next thing you know, that virus coming in Hong Kong left. Now the Chinese are going over there in Hong Kong and arresting those people, that they figured that was in charge of that and was calling all that, like the newspaper people and other people. like that, but also they had the people that was marching all over the world like that, and all that been squashed, man. I tell you, bro, you dealing with some evil and some wicked stuff going on, but you're not paying attention, man. You just well, let's go there. So let's go. I have two things. I have read these to you before, but bear with me. Be gone. We're still in the book of Enoch, and we're going back in the book of Enoch because book Enoch tells you everything that was going to happen, everything that was going to take place. So we know that prophecy is doctrine. So if you're looking at something that you had in dream vision or something, or some type of prophecy that you're trying to dream or something, and it's prophecy that you're trying to see that if it's going to happen or if it's supposed to happen, I suggest that you go to the book of Enoch. And this ask for knowledge, wisdom, understanding. The Lord God is in there. Oh yeah, it's in there. It's definitely in there. So we're going to two things. We're going to Isaiah chapter 24 and Isaiah chapter 42. So those are the two things that we are going to. Isaiah chapter 24. I was supposed to, I won't get into that. Isaiah chapter 24. Now, I probably had just finished reading this to you. Isaiah chapter 24. You said, yeah, I just finished reading this to you. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth ample, he maketh a waste, he turneth it upside down, he stretcheth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with his mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower. Borrow. And as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. Borrow. The land shall be utterly empty and utterly sparrow, for the Lord has spoken this word. The earth mourned and faded away. The world languages and faded away. The hardy people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the law, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. So that's it, man. All I can do is give it to you after all. And so I tell you over and over again, man, humble yourself before the throne of grace. Call on the holy name, Lord God, Jesus, whose name is excellent. Repent with your whole heart. Keep all his commandments and enter back in the bonds of forever covenant, say everlasting covenant. Therefore had the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. And therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Now the new wine mourn, the vine languishes, and all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of the tabret ceases, the noise of them that rejoice in it, the joy of the harp ceases. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confession is broken down. Let's say confession. That's what it says. I want to say confusion, but it says confession. Well, forgive me. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Isaiah chapter 24. There is a cry for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And the city is left desolation. The gate is smitten with destruction. Isaiah chapter 24. When this shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and the gleaming grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice. They shall sing for the majesty of the Lord. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord in the fires, even the name of the Lord God of Israel in the isles of the sea. For the uttermost part of the heaven have ye heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I say, my leanness woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear in the pit and the snare upon the old inhabitants of earth. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that cometh up out the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. So the windows from on high are open, and the foundation of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. After many days shall they be visited. And the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion in Jerusalem before the ancients in the glory. And so, yeah, because all this going to happen. I've seen the earth reel back and forth. I've seen the great earthquake. I've seen the shaking. The Lord God have shown me all this thing. I've told you in other videos and things. But listen, what he said, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunken, shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof should be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And so you have a lot of people out there right now thinking that things going to go back to normal, but it's not. I told you what the Lord God told me. In audible voice, he told me in a dream, with audible voice, the voice of the Lord. Listen to what he said. He said, I'm about to do something that's going to change. Yeah, they're going to change everything and everybody. So that's happened. And so once things change, they're never going back to be the same. So it's just going to get worse. And Lord God told us, said, when these things start, it's the beginning of sorrow. So just like right now, what happened before this is the tribulation of the false prophets. Now, you're into another tribulation. All right, well, all I can do is give it to you like he has given it to me. So now let's go to Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 42. We just left 24. Isaiah chapter 42. Behold my servant whom I uphold, my elect in whom my soul delight. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentile. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, a smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail nor be discouraged till he have set judgment in the earth, and the owl shall wait for his law. For thus saith the Lord God, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spread forth the earth and that which cometh out of it, he that giveth breath unto the people and upon it, and the spirit to them that walk therein. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thy hand, and will help thee. And I'll give thee for a covenant of the people, for the light of the Gentile, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out the prison house. I am the Lord, that is my name. My glory will I not give to another. These are my praise to graven image. And you have all these people coming out with the Lord God Hebrew name and all like that. That's fine, but he tell you, I am the Lord, that is my name. Okay, behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. I tell you of them. Sing unto the Lord a new song, his praise from the end of the earth. Ye that go down to the sea, and all that therein, the isles and the inhabitants thereof. Like the wilderness and cities thereof, lift up their voice. The village that Kendar do inhabit. Let the inhabitants of the rock sing. Let them shout for the top of the mountains. Let them give glory. Let them shout from the top of the mountain. Let them give glory unto the Lord and declare his praise in the islands. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now I will cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I'll make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs. I'll make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in a path that they have not known. I'll make darkness light before them, and a crooked thing straight. These things will I do unto them, not forsake them. They shall be turned back, they shall be greatly ashamed, that trust in graven images, that say to the molten image, you are our gods. Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that you may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Yeah, because you listen to these pastors, I heard, man, I hate to go into these people on television. Oh, man, I can't think of their name. No one is Evans, Dr. Stanley. Man, that's he call himself Dr. Stanley. And T.D. Jakes to all of them say, oh, man, he said, man, can't be perfect. But that's a lie. That's a lie. No, yeah, that's a lie. Seeing many things that thou observe not, opening ears, but he heareth not. The Lord is well pleased for his righteous sake. He will magnify the Lord and make it honorable. Let me tell you something. The Lord Jesus told you to be perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect. So if you cannot become perfect, the Lord God would have never told you to be perfect. So be perfect. Yeah, because I am perfect. I know I'm perfect. Yeah, well, you got to, well, go figure it out. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared and hold. And they are here in the prison house. They are for a prey and none delivered, for a spoil and none say restore. That's what they're doing, man. They're robbing you and stealing from you, man. Come on, Israel. They never stop. These people about to give out all these trillions of dollars and billions. I mean, trillions, then billions, then millions, and all that supposed to trickle down to you. And what they giving you? Some crumbs? All right, well, all I can do is give it to you like the Lord God has shown it to me. And they're going to continue on robbing you and doing things, robbing you and spoiling you. What they do, they rob you and then give you some food to make you think that they're doing you a favor. When you the one that provided all this from the beginning. Because the Lord, like I told you, go listen to Behold Elijah, Joseph's slavery. And if you don't want that, go to the Testament of the 12 patriarchs and go read Joseph's slavery and find out how the Lord God have to bless these people to bless you. But when you go read in the book of Hashir, they'll start killing us just like right now. Let me hurry up so I can go. Just like right now, they're killing you. And so when they start doing that, the people start crying unto the Lord God, and the Lord God came together just like we're doing now. All right, well, but this people robbed and spoiled, they're all, they're snared in holes. You know, there's a certain place that we have to live. I've been through all this before with you. Certain place that you live. You can't live where they live at. You can't. You might have a couple for them to say that, oh, yeah, ain't nobody can live, but that's a lie. Now, come on, man. And they're hid in prison house. So when he's talking about prison house, a lot of people think these are the prisons, but no, prison houses are the church houses. That's what they are. They're in the church house. They are for a prey, see? And none deliver, or spoil, and none say restore. Come on, man. Then also you have those behind the prison walls. Now that's a different story, behind the prison walls. And then you know they did. Well, who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spur and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom you have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. So that's why I tell you, man, once you start getting back in the holy covenant and keeping God's holy covenant, not just the Sabbath day, his covenant, and keeping his 10 commandments. Say, man, I don't care where you at. Those Deuteronomy chapter 20, the blessing and cursing is gonna overtake you. All I can do is just give it that. So repent and get back into it, man. Come on, bro. Yeah, well, I'm just telling you as he give it unto me, and then you don't have that much time left. Therefore he had poured upon him the fury of his anger and strength of the battle, and had set him on fire round about, and he knew it not, and burned him, yet he laid it not to halt. And so that's what's going on, man. Oh man, see that's why. So when you stop nowadays and they have all these different technology in there trying to make you forget what you're supposed to go to next. That's what they do, man. I'm telling you, bro, these people got a whole lot of stuff working against you that you don't even know. They got cameras, just like I was watching Oh man, the captive. That's the name of it. That's the name of the captive. Oh man, I hope that's the name of it, the captive. But anyway, so that the captive, this it's a movie that they have out. I just learned of this movie, listened to another program, and I learned of this movie, the captives. But and that's what's going on right now. But you don't see it because it's just not being birthed. But there's nowhere you're gonna be able to go that they're not gonna be able to track you. Nowhere, even right now, I keep telling you over and over, all that is demon technology. Everything what's going on is demon technology. Oh man, here you go. Well, all I can do is give it to you, like Lord God has given to me and shown to me. All this is demon technology. And you don't want to believe it, but that's what it is. Okay, well, anyway, so other day I was telling you about man, mortal man, and I was trying. I told you I couldn't find. I told you about Eve. I was going to tell you about Eve, and I showed not Eve, our mother Sarah, in that she was 90 years old and looked like a young woman, healthy and beautiful. So I told you that. And I had another thing I was going to tell you about man and what's going on with man. So this is found in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, and we're going to start at the 14th verse. Yeah. Uh, we're going to start at the 13th verse. I read this to you before. For what man is he that can know the counsel of God, or who can think what the will of the Lord is? For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. For the corruptible body presses down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weighs down the mind that muses upon many things. So that's what I'm telling you, man. And so these people, and you're on these different things, doing all these different things, and your memory is gone, and you're going through so much. Let's read it again. He said, for the corruptible body presses down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weighs down the mind that muses upon many things. So that's why your mind is put it out, and your thoughts, and man, these people have done all things to. Hardly do we guess or write the things that are upon the earth, and with labor do we find the things that are before us. But the things that are in heaven, who have searched out, and thy counsel who have known, except thou give wisdom, and send the Holy Spirit from above. For so, for so the ways of them which live on the earth were reformed, and men was taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and we were saved through wisdom. So this is the book of Apocrypha. I didn't tell you that. It's a book of Apocrypha. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9. Now, so when you go in chapter 10, I'm not studying this book because I have to go somewhere else. Chapter 10. She preserved the firstborn fall of the world that was created alone and brought him out of his fall. He gave him power to rule all things, but when the unrighteous went astray from her, in his anger, he perished, and in the fury within, murdered his brother. So when you go to the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, it tells you the prophecy, everything that happened in the world. That's what it is to go recount everything happened in the world. So when you go to this book, right here, this one is banned from the Bible, the book of Enoch. So when you go to the book of Enoch, chapter 85, that's where we're going to start at. We're going to start at chapter 85. Why? Because the reason why chapter 85, this recounts everything that was going to happen unto us, unto Israel as a people. Listen, see. After these, I saw another dream, but I was shown the whole dream to you, my son. He said, and I will show the whole dream to you, my son. And Enoch lifted up his voice and spoke to his son Methuselah. I will speak to you, my son, chapter 85. My son, hear my words and incline your ear to the dream of your father. Before I married your mother, Etna, I saw in a vision on my bed, and behold, a bull came out from the earth, and that bull was white. And after he came out, a heifer. And along with this later came out two bulls, one of them black and the other red. The black bull gorged the red one and pursued him over the earth, and then I could no longer see the red bull. But the black bull grew, and that heifer went with him. And I saw many oxen proceed from him, which resembled and followed him. Let me stop right there. Let me stop right there. Because you're not reading, if you go read the books that I have, the law God has given unto me to give unto you, like the book of Adam and Eve, you cannot go back to the book of Enoch and not know everything that has transpired and everything what Father Enoch is talking about. You can't do it. All right. And the cow, that first one, went from the presence of the first bull. Oh, man. Let me see. No, I'm going to repeat this. And the black bull gorged the red one and pursued him over the earth. And then I could no longer see that red bull. But the black bull grew, and the heifer went with him. And I saw that many oxen proceeded from him, which resembled and followed him. And that cow, that first one, went from the presence of the first bull in order to seek that red one, but found him not, and mourned with a great lamentation, and sought him. And I looked until that first bull came to her and quieted her. And from that time onward she cried no more. And after that she bore another white bull. And after she bore many bulls and black cows. And I saw in my sleep that the white bull likewise grew and became a great white bull. And from him proceed many white bulls. And they resemble him. And they began to follow the many white bulls, what resembled them, and one followed another. So this. Let me see. You should. So you know where that you should be at with this. And again I looked with my eyes, and I slept, and I saw heaven above, and behold, a star fell from heaven, and it arose and ate and pastured among those oxen. A star fell from heaven. So you know who that was, huh? A star fell from heaven. Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta know that. Man, you gotta forgive me. I done told this book up. I can't hold it together no more. Because I'm telling you, this was a paperback for the time. So now, you see, and again I looked in my eyes, and as I slept, I saw the heaven above, and behold, a star fell from heaven, and it arose and ate pasture among those oxen. And after I saw the large and black oxen, and behold, they all changed their stalls and pasture their heifers, and began to live with each other. The fallen angels, that's who that is. All right. And again I saw in a vision and looked towards heaven. Behold, I saw many stars descend and cast themselves down from heaven to the first star. And they became bulls among the cattle, and pastured with them. And I looked at the time and saw they all let out their private members like horses, and began to mount the cows of the bulls, and they all became pregnant, and bore elephants, camels, and asses. And all the bulls feared them, and was frightened of them, and began to bite with their teeth to devour, and to gore them with their horns. And moreover, they began to devour those oxen, and behold, all the children of the earth began to tremble and shake before them, and to flee from them. And again I saw how they began to gore each other, and to devour each other. And the earth began to cry aloud. And I raised my eyes again to heaven. I saw in a vision, behold, there came out from heaven beings who looked like white men. And 4 went out from that place, and 3 others with them. Okay. And those 3 that had came out last grasped me by the hand, took me up away from the generation of earth, and raised me up to the high place, and showed me the tower raised up high above the earth, and all the hills were Lord. And one said to me, remain here until you see everything that befalls those elephants, camels, asses, and the stars, the oxen, and all of them. See, even the stars, he was showing, this is for the Enoch. He was even showing what was going to happen to the stars. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I saw one of those four who had come out first, and he seized that first star which had fallen from heaven, and bound it hand and foot, and cast it into an abyss. And now the abyss was narrow and deep, and horrible and dark. And one of them drew a sword and gave it to those elephants, camels, asses. Then they began to smite each other, and the whole earth shook up because of this. Now that's the first destruction. Now you go read the book of Hashum, and it tells you about the first destruction, where he turned. Just go read it, man. Go read it. Just go read it. And I was beholding a vision, one of those four who came out of the stone. Time's up. One of the fours who had came out stoned them from heaven, and gathered and took all the great stars whose private members was like of horses, and bound them all hand and foot, and drew them in the abyss of the earth. You see, now that's during Jared time. Yes, the fallen angels came out during Jared time, and they started doing what? Start having sex and marrying the daughters of men. So that's what this part tell you, man. Father Enoch, and what this I'm reading, went through everything that was going to happen, take place on the earth. That's what he was telling you. All right. So now, let's see. And I was beholding a vision. One of those four who had come out stoned them from heaven, and gathered and took all the great stars whose private members were like those of horses, and bound them hand and foot, and threw them in the abyss of earth. Okay. And one of those four went to that white bull, instructing him in a secret, and he was terrified, but was born a bull and became a man. See, and built for himself a great vessel and dwelt on it. This is a dream. And three bulls dwelt with him in the vessel, and they were covered over. And again I raised my eyes towards the heaven, and saw a high roof, 7 waters torrents on it, and those torrents flowed with much water into an enclosure. And I looked again, and behold, the fountains were open in the surface of the great enclosed, and the great water began to bubble and swell and rise on the surface. I saw the enclosure until all its surface was covered with water, and the water, the darkness, and the mist increased on it. And as I look at the height of the water has risen above the height of the enclosure, and was streaming over the enclosure, and it stood on the earth. And all the cattle of the enclosure was gathered together until I saw how they sank and were swallowed up and perished in the water. But the vessel flowed on the water, and while all the oxen and elephants and camels and asses sank to the bottom with all the animals, so that I could no longer see them, they were not able to escape, but perished and sank into the depths. And again I watched in a vision until those waters, torrents, were removed from the high roof, and the chasms of the earth was leveled up. Chasms of the earth was leveled up, and other abyss were open. The water began to run down into these abyss until the earth became visible. But the vessel settled on the earth, and the darkness retired, and the light appeared. But the white bull, which had become a man, came out of the vessel, and 3 bulls with him. And one of those 3 was white like that bull, and one of them was a red as blood, and one black. And the white bull departed from them. All I can do is give it to you like it happened. Yeah, and began. We'll see. Oh, wait a minute. Departed from them. And they began to bring out beasts of the field, birds, and they arose different say genera. Lions, tiger, wolves, dogs, hyenas, wild boars, foxes, squirrels, swine, falcons, vultures, kites, eagles, and ravens. And among them was born a white bull. And they began to bite one another. But that white bull was born among them, father a wild ass, and a white bull with it. And the wild asses multiplied. But that bull which was born from him fathered a black wild boar and a white sheep. And the former fathered many boars, but the sheep gave birth to 12 sheep. That's where we come in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when those 12 sheep had grown, they gave up one of them to the asses. And the asses again gave up the sheep to the wolves. And the sheep grew up among the wolves that followed Joseph. You got to know what you, man, tell you, this is so easy. And a lot of people get this book, and as soon as they start reading about the bulls and sheep and all that, I did it too. Because I didn't know. I didn't know. I wanted to take a shortcut. It's no shortcut. But when I got back in the Bible Forever Covenant, it keep all God's holy covenant. I started keeping all God's holy covenant. And all his commandments, the Sabbath days, the festival days, and everything that he brought forth, I started doing it. And then when I came back, and I started reading, I started understanding a little bit. But this past Sabbath, man, I understood it. Oh, I mean everything, because I done read all the books that he had given unto me. And well, he got more he could give unto me too. But I'm just saying, then I understood all this. And when the 12 sheep had grown, they gave up one of them to the asses. And the ass again gave up the sheep to the wolves. And the sheep grew among the wolves. And the Lord brought the 11 sheep to live with it and pasture with it among the wolves. And they multiplied and became many flocks of sheep. And when the wolves began to fear them, they oppressed them until they destroyed they destroyed their little ones. And they threw their young into a deep river. But those sheep began to cry on account of their little ones and to complain to the Lord. And as the sheep which had been saved from the wolves fled and escaped to the wild asses, I saw the sheep how they lamented and cried and besought their Lord with all their might, until the Lord of the sheep descended at the voice of the sheep from the high abode and came to them and pastured them. And he came and he called that sheep which he had escaped the wolves and spoke with it concerning the wolves, that it should admonish them and not touch the sheep. And the sheep went to the wolves according to the word of the Lord. And another sheep met it, and they went with it, and two it entered together in the assembly of the wolves, and spoke with them, and admonished them that they not touch the sheep from then on. Moses and Aaron. Man, come on, bro. And all this I saw the wolves and how they mostly harshly oppressed the sheep with all their power, and the sheep cried aloud. And the Lord came to the sheep, and they began to beat the wolves. And the wolves began to make lamentation, but the sheep became quiet and ceased to cry out. And I saw the sheep until they departed from among the wolves, but the eyes of the wolves were blinded. And the wolves departed in pursuit of the sheep with all their power. And the Lord of the sheep went with them, and their leader, and all his sheep followed him. And his face was dazzling, glorious, and terrible to behold. But the wolves began to pursue those sheep until they reached the sea of the water. And then, so I can stop right there. And then, I hope you have the book, man. Go read the book, so now you know, and so you can catch it up. And you can read it, man. You can read it, man. And it's going to be so glorious to you, man. Knowing of the Lord. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So, so then when you read this, I'm going to stop reading now. So when you read this, then you can go to the book of Daniel, and it talk about the horn, the little horns, and the two horns. You get it. Oh, would you get it? Yeah, you would get it. All right. Okay. Uh, let me see. All right. All right. Let me see. I want to stop. I'm gonna stop right there, and hopefully, Lord God, let me pick it up from there. So hopefully, I'll pick it up there from the because I don't want to take it all from you, and you can get your aha moments and understand and know it for yourself. This was about. This program is about get you to start getting away from that that milk and bread and start to getting you to eat meat to let you know these books are the word of God. These are the Lord's prophecy. These are his doctrine. And you can read this and get away from just eating, drinking milk and eating bread because you'll never come into the full knowledge of truth and you're going to be held accountable for that because when I read more of this, you're going to see that you're going to not only those shepherds that have led you astray gonna be accountable, you're gonna be accountable also. Well, I'm just gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it at again, I saw those sheep, and they erred in their ways, and forsook their house. And the Lord of sheep called some from among the sheep, and sent them to the sheep, but the sheep began to slay them. And one of them was saved, and was not slain, and sped away, and cried aloud over the sheep. And they sought to slay it, but the Lord of sheep saved it from the sheep, and brought it up to me, and caused it to live there. So that was Elijah. And many other sheep he sent to those sheep to testify to them and to lament over them. So that's us he's talking about. He said many other sheep. But we also know that the Jews came into play with that also. But this is, I know I'm supposed to be gone, but I have to tell you these things. I have to let you know this thing. Also, when you start reading it, you find out that the fallen angels are back. Yeah, he tells you when you're reading. That's why I went there. I was looking for when the fallen angels return. When they return. So when you're reading the book of, you can start at page chapter 85 in the book of Enoch. And so when you start at the chapter 85 in the book of Enoch, Enoch reclaimed that one parable, that one dream that he saw. And in that dream, he tells you about the return of the fallen angels, and it tells you about what technology that technology that they have bought. And so right now, all this technology and things that you see, this is fallen angels technology. And man think that this is his technology, but it's fallen angels technology. Just like the blood. Oh, that's what I wanted to read to you. The blood, the blood. I'm gonna make a video right behind it. It's not gonna be too long, and I'm gonna find out. I'm just gonna go to the scriptures to tell you because that's what's going on now. They need your blood. See the fallen. I'm gonna tell you in another video. But anyway, this is not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, say the Lord of hosts. And I'm Elijah. Until next time.